I remembered today morning one of the wonderful books that we have. It's called, the title itself says, The Eternal Companion. A book on the life and teachings of Swami Vimokshananda, who was the first disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. They say, because he came before Swami Vivekananda came to Ramakrishna. And when he came, Sri Ramakrishna considered that boy as his mental son. Manasaputra, he was called. And it was shown to him by Mother Kali. So one day he had a conversation with the Divine Mother, and that Divine Mother said, well, you are going to get a son. Sri Ramakrishna was stunned. Said, son to me? No, Mother. Then Mother smiled and said, yes, a mental son I am sending to you. And then the boy will come to you. She said, and then showed him a scene where Sri Krishna was dancing, and among the friends of Krishna who were dancing with him, called Gopas, and one of the boy, she showed him. And next day when this boy Rakha, by his name, he came, Sri Ramakrishna could immediately understand. This is that very boy whom I was shown in my vision. So that was Rakha, who later became Swami Vimokshananda. And he was the first official president of the Ramakrishna order. So his life and teachings have been written by one Swami Prabhavananda, who was in America, who founded that our Hollywood Center. So that Swami has written about, he has titled the book this way, The Eternal Companion. So that book I carry also, wherever I go I carry, because it's an eternal companion to me. When you read that book, you can understand the one thing that comes out very strongly in that book is that practice, practice, practice. Swami Vimokshananda was, in many respects, was completely opposite to Swami Vivekananda. If you say Swami Vivekananda was a great sun with giving huge light, but Vimokshananda was like a moon giving a cool light. There's personalities also are different. One was very dynamic and the other was completely indoor. So such was the person, Swami Vimokshananda, and his book is a wonderful book. I think it's useful for having any type of religion you have. Even if you don't have any religion, it's better to read that book because it gives you certain intricate analysis of mind. You find that Brahmanaji who was Indra, and he has been telling that practice, practice, practice. A question may be asked, particularly the Vedanta has got three phases of philosophy, as we call it. One is Advaita, another is Vishishtadvaita, another is Dvaita. So in Advaita philosophy, there is nothing to practice. It is strange to hear such things also. Some Advaitins in the internet, they write that you don't need any type of practice because practice is required to attain something, to get something. Now, this philosophy says, or these believers in this philosophy, they say that you are already that. There is nothing to attain from outside. Your internal being is Satchit Ananda. You are already that. Thou art that. That is the famous Tattvam Asi. That is the famous Vedic statement. So when you are already divine, what is there to practice to get something? Because there is nothing to get something. It's already with you. So they say practice is not required. But then all are not Advaitis. All have not realized that yes, I am divine. Are we feeling that all the time that we are divine? No. Many times we are aware of our sins. we become conscious of our defects. We are perfectly understanding, oh, I am not up to that level. So such things, such thoughts come and attack you and assault you. At the time, what you should do? So for that, practice is a necessity. So when the practice comes, then what happens is, it has got certain tangible results you find in the people. As I told you, even in mundane activities, we require practice. At least in spiritual life, how much practice is required? One Swami I met in 70s, and he told me, in the order, all the Swamis put together, all the monks put together, how much japa they should have done. And I have done that much japa. I was simply stunned. I was a young boy at the time. So I asked him, how is it so possible? That means, what, have you not been working anywhere, only doing japa? He said, no, I have been intensely working. He was a construction engineer also. He had been working in relief activities, many relief activities. But still he says, I have been continuously doing japa. Even I could not believe myself that the japa would go on such. Even I sleep 4 to 5 hours only I could sleep a day. And when I get up from the bed, that is when the sleep is going, I am getting to the awakening state. And slowly my mind is coming out, and I can immediately feel that japa is going on in my mind. Continuously the mantra is being remembered all the time. He says, when I am now talking to you, the mantra is going on in my mind. So how this could happen? Even in young age, if a person can do that type of japa, it is possible. And even in his previous life, he must be doing the japa. So with all the things, the cumulative effect of practice, once it comes out as a result. So the practice must be kept up. So for japa, what is another reason for practice? So we have mantras, okay. And Swamiji said those who have not got initiation, who have not taken mantra, they can do the repetition of the sound symbol, which is called of the infinity, it's called Om. So you can do the Om japa also. So that Om has to be told in a slow motion, so that it lingers on for some time. So when you do that Om japa, then you find certain things happen in the mind. The first benefit that you get in the repetition of mantra is that your mind starts getting stopped from diversion. Because mind is always thinking lot of things. We have got a lot of thoughts. Each thought is called a thread-like. So Swami Vivekananda, if you have read the Raja Yoga, which is a famous book, Raja Yoga, which details about the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. There was a great Rishi, Patanjali. He wrote the sutras, that is one line sentences of a particular philosophy and practice. What was that? It was called the Yoga Sutras. How to do yoga, how to practice yoga. So that Yoga Sutras is mainly psychological, that is. So that book Swami Vivekananda wrote. In that introduction, he speaks about our mind. What is our mind? I would like to just go a little detail on that, because I remember this what Swamiji's explanation about mind. He says our mind is having, just for imaginary, 3 levels. Just imagine we have got 3 levels. Say a glass is there. In that glass, you just imagine 3 levels. What are the levels? He says the first level, surface level. You fill up the glass with water or milk, you find a surface. So the surface level is the first level. And under that, say about 5% of the total glass you can see there is another level, which is called, the first one surface level is called conscious level. And that beneath that 5%, say a little, say half inch, and that is called subconscious level. And underneath, the entire thing is called unconscious level. So now Swami Vivekananda says that this whatever, suppose I ask you where are you sitting now, you will say that I am in Dalgan Park. It is very visible and very, really you know that where you are. You will never say you are in Belfast or you are in some other place. But then when you know that we are aware of that, you are aware that somebody is speaking in front of you. You are aware that something, camera is capturing this. You are aware that two Swamis are sitting. So such things are, normally you are aware. This is conscious level. So what are the things? Each idea is one thought. And each thought is called like a thread. So there are, one thread has come in my mind now, that the door is closed. So that is one thread that has come into my mind. The mind is like a vessel, you take it, imagine, and one thought has come. Another thought has come, one bird is chirping outside. Another thought has come, because I am hearing. So like that, hundreds of threads of thoughts are popping up all the time in our life. Think of a man whose mind is filled with the rising of thoughts. That is what we call disturbance. I am utterly disturbed. My mind is very hot. I cannot even think. There are so many thoughts are moving in. So that is called disturbance, turbulence. So when that type of things happen, how the mind can be quieted. So for that, this Raja Yoga helps us. Raja Yoga is not a Hatha Yoga. You know the difference between Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga. Hatha Yoga deals with the physical postures by which you gain mastery over the mind, or the preparation over the mastery over the mind. And Raja Yoga actually teaches us how to have the mastery over the mind mentally, not with the physical exercises. So this Raja Yoga, Swamiji says that this subconscious level, the lower than that, there are some thoughts which are just lying there. They have not come up now, so you are not aware of it. For instance, I ask you, school final, from which school you passed out? I ask you, each one will know from which school each one has passed out. But that thought was never there. I think you have not even thought about the school for the last 10 years. But when I ask you, immediately the thought comes and you are able to reply to me. So and so school I passed out. So where was that thought? So Swami Vivekananda says, those thoughts that can be easily retrieved from your memory, those thoughts are lying in subconscious level. They are sitting there. Though apparently you may think that you have forgotten now, but it is not forgotten. None of our experiences which become thoughts are forgotten. All the thoughts are there. Where are they? The surface thoughts we know, as I explained to you, and the subconscious thoughts also I explained to you now. Where are the other thoughts? In my childhood days I have done something. What happened to that impression? Where is that impression? That thought which will speak about that impression, where is that? Likewise, if you see, and if you go back to your past lives also, hundreds of past lives we have had, all those experiences are in the form of thoughts, are in the form of threads. They are all lying in the unconscious level. Now this unconscious level is how depth it can go. So Vivekananda beautifully says, it is like a bottomless cup, he says. There is no bottom. In South Africa, I used to make fun this. In South Africa, when I was there, I used to go to some, on the way, while traveling, you stop at some petrol place, garage, and then you go for coffee. And if you purchase one cup of coffee, you will be given that pump, you go to the next petrol pump, and there you have got bottomless coffee is written there. That is any number of coffees you can take, bottomless. So imagine a glass without a bottom. That means how much depth it will go. And that depth indicates that your past lives, hundreds and thousands of past lives we have had. Even in different bodies, not only in this human body, in different other bodies that we have taken birth. So all these impressions in the thought form are lying in the unconscious level. So now this spirituality comes here. The unconscious thoughts may be good or may be bad. Likewise, the subconscious thoughts also may be good or bad. Only in the surface level, when the bad thought comes, we are aware, oh, this is a bad thought. It should not be held in my mind. This idea comes. But in subconscious level also, such bad thoughts are lying. In surface level, when it comes, because of the society's certain conditions, we are conditioned, in growing. So we are not using all those bad thoughts immediately. Bad thoughts may come, but then they are lying, then we just leave it. Oh, let us not think of it. Like that we just set it aside. But in the unconscious level, bad thoughts are remaining, and how they will come out? So the modern psychologists say that it may come through your dreams. So there is a very big subject, dream itself, how to interpret the dream and what the dream means, etc. We are not going to that today. But what I am trying to get is, the bad thoughts which are lying in the subconscious level, they have to be also set aside. What is the process of setting aside the thoughts? In surface level, when the bad thought comes, how do we set aside? We just think, we refuse to think further on that. So in that way, we just try to forget it. But nothing is forgotten in mind. Everything goes under subconscious level and lying there. So the bad thoughts, how to purify the subconscious level? This is practice of japa is very important. So here the practice comes. The practice is, second point I want to tell you is, practice in spiritual disciplines is a must, because it can go to the level of subconscious state and then purify your mind, which is not ordinarily possible for us. If you do not practice, then there is no chance to go to the subconscious level. So if the subconscious level, they are lying there and they are remaining, they are not purified, then what happens? They will come in different forms. Even sometimes your mind may be so strong, you may not even dream it. Then those bad thoughts will come out through the body as a psychosomatic diseases. So there are many people you find who have got psychosomatic diseases. And the psychologist sitting here, so she knows that. Psychologists understand that, oh, this is a particular disease, nothing to do with physical, but then it has got something deep inside, a thought which is troubling that person, and that is coming out in the physical form. If that thought can be taken care of, if that can be rectified, then the disease also disappears. So you find that how the subconscious level one can go into for that in the spiritual discipline of japa is very helpful. And then comes to meditation. Meditation, generally it's called dhyana in Sanskrit. And this dhyana, which is in Japanese language it became Zen, you know that. Zen is a corrupted form of, or Japanized form of this Sanskrit word dhyana. So in dhyana, in meditation, which we use it, we are given a technique. When you go to your guru, the guru tells you, this is how you have to meditate. And he gives that method. And then you practice it. Suppose you don't practice at all meditation. What happens? They say, if an unmeditated mind, that is the mind which does not have practice of meditation is like a jungle where the wild animals have their free. That means what will happen to your mind you do not know. At what time your bad thoughts will jump upon you and pounce upon you like tigers, and you are under that influence immediately. There are people who get instant anger. Have you seen such people? I have come across such people. Instantly anger. You cannot do anything. So one boy came to me in South Africa when I was there, and his mother said, Swami, when he comes back from work, he is so angry in the home. Sometimes he breaks the glasses. He takes the bottles and breaks. And we cannot control his anger. He is like a Narasimha. You know, one of the 10 avatars of Hinduism is Narasimha. The god appearing half man and half lion. So Narasimha is God. Narasimha was very angry. So he says that type of anger he has got. And the reason I found out that the boy has never been given any training in meditation. So he started coming to me, and when I taught him the meditation technique, he was surprised. In 3 months' time, he was able to control his anger externally. Surface, when the anger comes immediately, he was not expressing the anger. Previously, he was expressing the anger. That means he wanted to break something and go and break. But now, that is stopped. Why? He is able to understand that the thought anger is arising in my mind, and many people may understand some thoughts are arising in our mind, but they may not be able to control it. This not having control over your own thought shows that you have got to know practice of meditation. That's why meditation is very important. Swami Brahmananji in that book Eternal Companion says, not a single day should pass without you are doing meditation. You do in your bed, or you sit in your chapel, or you go to your temple, or do meditation wherever. But meditation must be done at least for 10 to 15 minutes a day. And that brings a lot of effect. Because the meditation is the thing, as I told you, japa, the repetition of the mantra, purifies the subconscious level with bad thoughts. Likewise, meditation, the dhyana, comes to you, it gives you power, it gives you the strength to face the bad thoughts when they arise in the conscious level. So practice is necessary. Now you may say that, see, we are not yogis, we are ordinary people. Do you want to have some devotional attitude towards God? See, God is my master, I am his servant. So in that type of things I am going. So in this, what type of practice is necessary? Is it practice necessary here? Simply I think that God is my master. It's not enough. Some people say like, so for that also there is an answer. Because for even in Bhakti Yoga, this is called Bhakti Yoga, where you consider God as your personal deity, as your father, mother, whatever relationship. Yesterday I told you, the 5 types of relationship. With all that, when you think, you are thinking, then you must understand. In Bhakti Yoga also, there are certain practices which you must continue to do. And one is the reading of books, of scriptures. A yogi may not read anything. He doesn't need any book. There was a yogi who Swami Vivekananda met in his lifetime, and he had no books. He had one room, and he asked, that's all. He would go to a river and take bath, and then he would cook, and then eat. He had nothing, no books at all. When Vivekananda saw him, he was surprised. Oh, this man doesn't have a single book. Likewise, in Ramakrishna's room, there was no book. If you go to Dakshineswari in Calcutta, you find Ramakrishna's room is still kept. It's maintained as it is. So when you go there, you find there is no book there. And when The person who wrote the teachings of Ramakrishna in the book form, it was Mahendranath Gupta, is called, short name is Yam. He only writes Yam. So that Yam, when he first met Ramakrishna, he came there and the maid servant who was cleaning the room, she was standing outside. So he asked this maid servant, her name was Brinda. So he said, Brinde, does this man inside, has he read lot of books? She said, what books you are asking? All books are in his mouth. When he speaks, all the books come out. She said, she knew the worth of Ramakrishna. So, the books are not necessary for certain yoga. But then, for bhakti yoga, you require books. Why you require books? Because they speak the glory of God. In the scriptures, what is the scripture? Scripture also is like a book, anything written. That's all by somebody. But then, a scripture gains importance because it speaks the glory of God. Wherever glory of God is spoken, that should be taken as a scripture. So, that scripture reading is a must. By reading again and again, every day, people do Parayanam, you see. That's a very beautiful word in Sanskrit. Called Parayanam means a repetition of a daily a routine. So some people used to do. In our, here also in Ireland I see, many of the people, they have the daily chanting of certain things. Like Vishnu Sahasranam, Lalita Sahasranam. Like that some hymns are there. It's the glory of God, nothing but glory of God there. 1,000 names of God is written in a hymnal form. And when you read that hymn again and again, every day, repeat it, then it goes into the mind and you are completely by-hearted. But even then, you are go on repeating it because it is the glory of God's name. So in Bhakti Yoga also, you have to do a lot of repetitions. And coming to Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga, is there any repetition? Is there any necessity of practice? In Karma Yoga, what you do? In simple form, if you want to know what is Karma Yoga, I will tell you 1, 2, 3 points. The first point is, whatever you do, I am not the owner. I am not the doer. This will be the first principle in Karma. So you do a lot of activities. It's okay. But then the first principle of Karma Yoga is, I am not the doer. So if you are not the doer, yet you are doing something, who is the doer? That question will come up. So the second point comes in the Karma Yoga, that the doer is God. I am not. So you deny yourself and then you think God is the doer. And thirdly, whatever I do, whatever the effects of my action, because every action has got an effect. A reaction is there. And that is called karma phala. The law of karma, you all know what is law of karma. Law of karma states that if you do any karma, any action, that has got equal and opposite reaction is there. So the reaction will come. So when the reaction comes, it is called karma phala. The fruit of karma is called karma phala. So this fruit of karma is something very dangerous. When it comes to us, we have wondered, hey, how this fruit has come to me, how this suffering has come to me, how this pleasure has come to me. I have not done what I have done previously. If not in this birth, we trace it, the Hindu mind traces it to the previous birth. Previous birth you must have done something great. That's why you got all the benefits in this birth. So like that we say that. So in the Karma Yoga, there are all the effects that come to you, that accrue to you. You must feel, I am not going to enjoy this. Neither I am going to suffer. I am offering all the effects to God's feet. So likewise, if you say these 3 points, if you keep it, then Karma Yoga becomes easy. And here also you see, the practice must be there. So that's why in the end, there is a beautiful verse, Sanskrit verse I will tell you. Kayena vacha manasa indeva buddhyatmanava prakriti subhava karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayana iti samarpayami. It's a very beautiful verse. It says, after doing all your worshipping methods, what we are taught in our mission is to chant this verse. This verse says, whatever so far I have done, physically, mentally, and by verbally, and also by my 5 senses, sense organs, and also by my own nature, whatever nature one has got, by my own nature, whatever I have done so far, all the effects and the actions, I offer it at your feet, O Lord. So this is the one. So when you say this, you immediately understand, and when you say with all heart, and with all heart you put it and say it, that means you really offer everything at the feet of the Lord. So in that way, you are saved from the future attack of the fruits of your action. So you may ask, how is the fruit of action can be stopped? Can you escape that? Because when you do an act, then the fruit of action must come and attack you. But then, what happens here is, because you have offered everything to Lord, the Lord will take care of you, and you get so much of strength to face any actions effect that comes. So even bad effects come to you, you are not worried, you are not forlorn, you are not degrading yourself. And if very good things comes, also you are not overwhelmed by the good thing, effects that come. So you try to keep your mind equanimity is called. So Gita's important teaching is, the first teaching I would say, first is the renunciation, second is equanimity. Mind should be equanimous. So when equanimity is attained, that neither na pradarshye priyam prapya, no dvije na cha apriyam. It says, when good things, priyam, when good things come to me, I should not be overwhelmed. Likewise, apriyam, when other things come that I do not want, when they come, I should not be disturbed. This is called equanimity. And a person attains equanimity means he is a saint. Whom you call a saint? Who has attained equanimity, who is not disturbed by the external factors, neither who is overwhelmed by the good things that come from the external. So that type of saint is called equanimity. The mind must be equanimous. So that happens in Karma Yoga by doing a lot of actions. So in this way, practice is necessary in all the 4 yogas we find. So, are we practicing? Or what type of obstacles you can think for practice? The main obstacle for the practice is our own mind. We are either friend of us or we are the enemy of us. So Gita says that, Krishna says clearly that you are your own enemy, you are your own friend. Why I am enemy to myself? Because my mind only is telling, don't practice. So instead of helping me, it is telling me, don't sit, don't practice, don't do japa. Rather, put your mind in all the other things. So mind goes on wavering from one point to another point to another point, except God. So my own mind has become my enemy. So this is the first obstacle. Second obstacles may be place. In thinking of God, Krishna says in Gita that one must choose the place wisely. He says you should not choose a place where snakes are moving. Suppose you go and sit for meditation in a gufa, in a cave where snakes are there. Will you be able to meditate properly? Your mind will be on the snake only. So, he says, choose a place which is very, very congenial for meditation. That's why this place has been beautiful. When you come to our Nivedita Nivas, Nivedita house, you will find that people are telling, oh Swamiji, I just came for the first time. I feel so nice here. My mind is so wonderful. Why do you feel like that? Because that place has been developed like that. Previously it was a shop. Before we took out 1 year before, that was only a shop. And everything was going on in the shop. Not only groceries were sold, not only breads were sold, but other things also were sold. And that was a shop, was a place where people come and make merry, and that type of place. And that has been transformed into a spiritual place. Can you imagine that? In this 2 years' time, the place has been transformed to spiritual, and that has been going outside also, it is helping. Today I showed to one of our devotees at the outside there is a quote by Nelson Mandela. When you go and take a right turn, immediately the after the one window, you find a big board is there. Nelson Mandela's quotation. Please read it. He clearly says that divinity is within everyone. And if you can manifest the divinity, that will be also getting into others. Others also will be able to express it. He says, it's a beautiful quotation. Of course, I am not biated, so I couldn't say that. But whenever you go that side, please stand and take a photograph if necessary. It's a beautiful quotation. So, it is like that. So, that place has become very important. So, for meditation and japa, etc., if you get a congenial place, don't miss them. Just sit there and then go. Many people go to our headquarters in Belur. It's a beautiful place on the bank of the Ganges, and several temples are there, and the atmosphere is wonderful. But how many of them utilize that opportunity? They just go there and see the structure of the buildings, of the temples, and then come away. They don't understand such a wonderful atmosphere is there. That vibrations that are there, that they fail to take it. So when you come to our ashrams or to any ashram you go, just sit there for 5 minutes at least and try to gather the vibrations. Are you able to make your antenna receptive to that vibration? And the mind will become more and more purified. That's why we encourage the devotees, please visit. When you have the ashram, you must visit. When the ashram was not there, people were telling, oh, we must have an ashram. Like that they used to go and tell our headquarters. And when the ashram has come, then they don't come. See, it is very strange. And a situation has been created. A portion, a building has been brought. And all these things were purchased by the donation from the devotees. So is it not a devotee's responsibility also to take care of that place? So should they not come and do meditation there? If in a place one person does meditation or 2 persons do meditation and compare 100 people doing meditation in the same place, what a vibration would be there. So that's why the Banaras, if you go to Banaras or if you go to Jerusalem, all these places have become very spiritually important because hundreds and hundreds of people go there and think of God there. That's why they have become powerful, a powerful magnet they are. So, this practice of meditation, practice of japa are necessary. I told you the second obstacle as a place. If you get a good conducive place, don't miss it. What can be the third obstacle for our practice? Now, I throw this question to the audience. Now from the floor, some answers I must get. What do you think of? What type of obstacle can be there for my regular practice? Laziness?
Body.
Huh?
The body.
Body. Body. Yes, it's body. Yes, that's a good point. Body. See how much we take care of our body. We do not know. There was a story of Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha went for a penance. And he said, Ihasane sushyatu me shariram. He said, let this body be dried out in this place. And he sat for meditation. Till enlightenment I would not get. Okay, he had enlightenment. And then he got up. And then he could walk. He has become so lean and thin. Only bones were there. And then he could not walk. He started walking and he fell down. One village lady saw from distance somebody was trying to walk and falling down. And she came with kheer, it was called payas. She brought a liquid and then fed him. And then he got up. Then he says, oh, I made a mistake. I should not have dried up my body, physical body. Is not the body helping me to get an enlightenment? Then how can I afford to do this? Then he took up a stance which is called Madhya Pantha, that's the middle path. That is how he discovered that. The middle path is the path that you should take. You should, suppose you do fasting. Once in a month or twice in a month fasting you do, say from sunrise to sunset, it's okay, no problem. Or you do once in a month also, it's alright. Some people do every week, once in a week they do, it's alright. But if you do 3 days in a week and you don't eat anything, not even water, there is a term we call it, use it as a Ekadashi. Ekadashi means the 11th day of the moon's phase. The moon has got 15 phases. While up going up, that is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, it is called waxing. And another is waning. So it is going less and less and less and less, 15 days. So in that 11th day is considered spiritually important by the Hindus, and many of the Hindus have a fasting on the 11th day. So once in 15 days you fast, okay. But if you excessively fast and you become your body very weak, even to sit is not possible, then what you will do is you will be lying down. So, and then laziness will come into you. So, the middle path as described by Buddha is much more easier, and it shows that your body should not be completely dried out. So, the body is one of the obstacles. Taking care of the body to keep up the minimal level, and then not in a luxurious way that you are taking care of the body, but the minimum things you should take care of. Suppose you get sick, what will happen? You see, you are not able to meditate, you are not able to sit for japa. So, why should you become sick? I have seen some swamis in our order who have not got one aspirin in their life. They have not taken any medicines. They say no, minimum, and they are not very bulky also. They are lean and thin, and then they are keeping quite good health. So maintaining the health is a must, because that is a great obstacle for many of us. And particularly when you go beyond 50 years. Till 50 it's all right, body can take it. After 50 it cannot. So don't dry it out. Yes. Another obstacle?
Mobile phones and gadgets.
Huh? What is that?
Mobile phones and gadgets.
What is that?
Mobile phones,
Oh.
smartphones.
Okay. These are of course external things, they are now only just coming. From the ancient time mobile phone was not there. But then, you see, certain external things is these gadgets and these computers and whatever that can draw your attention outside. You are telling mobile phone as a matter of fact, as an indication of there are many things out there in this world which can draw your attention out. So that is also. So for a spiritual aspirant, as far as you go or as you can go, try to take the mind from the outside world and turn it inside. That is what we have to do. And that we are unable to do because our mind is already going fast outside. Kathopanishad, one of the greatest of the Upanishads, it's beyond Vedanta. It speaks of that Lord Yama is giving some teachings to a young boy Nachiketa. And he says that to him, you see the sense organs are produced in our body in such a way that they all go out only. It is only one Kaschid Dhiraha, somewhere one great daring person, Dhira, one who dares. A daring person only tries to turn his sense organs from going outside and turn it inside. He says that. So the turning inside is a very big one. And if you are as far as your mind does not go out too much, and you keep it within a particular limit that is necessary for your living, okay, then that will not become a distraction.
Emotions? If you're too happy or too sad or you're worried,
Yes.
the emotions.
Yes, emotions. So now the practice is necessary to bring somewhat control over the emotions. And that emotions are actually disturbing the practice. See, it is like going round and round only, because the same emotions are disturbing your practice, and by practice only you can gain control over your emotions. So that's why I told you, the subconscious level, the emotions are lying there, and those have to be purified by practice, by going to a good place. And you choose any of the 4 yogas, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Any one yoga also you can choose to control the emotions. Yes?
We allow ourselves to be prisoners of reason. We are slaves to reason and rationality, and we cannot cut through to the simplicity of practice.
Maharaj, can you explain?
Oh,
I did not get it.
so I'm going to reinterpret what you
Yeah.
just said a little bit. So we live in the head too much and reason things out, and that makes things too complicated and stops us from the simplicity of practice. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. Yes, that's a good point. You see, that each person, those who have been born in this world, comes with their unique tendency, which we call it samskaras. Samskaras. So what happens is, when the samskaras, what is your samskara, what is your unique tendency? If you see that, broadly 4 types of tendencies Swami Vivekananda defines. So 4 types of this. One is highly emotional. Emotion is the ruling. Another is workaholic. All the time to be working. That type of person is there. And that becomes the supreme factor in his personality. And another is reasoning out. Everything he reasons out, as he said. In mind, everything he knows. Why we are doing this, what is the meaning of this, etc. And another is quite peaceful and meditative. So these are the 4 types of tendencies we have, samskaras we have. What happens in our life is, when I see somebody is well-reasoning man, and I am personally an emotional type, I go and imitate him in my life. Instead of giving attention to what I am having inherently, what is the most predominant personality type I am having, forgetting that, I am trying to imitate somebody. Then the conflict comes, as you say. If you are a reasoning mind, that means your Jnana Yoga is the best path for you. But then in that Jnana Yoga, that will not disturb your practices. But I am an emotional type, Bhakti Yoga is for me. So leaving the Bhakti Yoga, I go and adopt Jnana Yoga, which is not suitable to me. Then that problem comes. Then that itself becomes a hindrance to spiritual life. So Swamiji says, try to find out what is your inherent personality type. So for that only we have courses. Swami Purnananji conducts Enneagram course. This Enneagram course, of course, not 4 types. It divides humanity into 9 categories. And each one is allotted one particular number. And from that you will be able to understand you and versus or vis-a-vis with others. How you can manipulate the situations at that time. So that will give you an idea what type of person you are. If if anybody wants to know what is my inherent tendency, what is my personality type, then I should say, come and attend the Enneagram course. Then you will know what is your type. If there is a clash, then that is a... If there is no clash, for instance, then that reasoning will not be a stopping factor for practice, for the jnana.
Swami, is it possible to chant the japa for somebody who doesn't chant? Like offering prayers?
Yes, it can. See, the japa mantra has been given to you, is it not? For the main motto of the Ramakrishna order of monks is Atmanam Mokshatam Jagat Hitaya Cha. This is one sentence Swami Vivekananda has given. In simple English it is said, for one's own benefit and for the welfare of the world. These should go together. You see, there are people who become monks and go to Himalayas. They are not interested in the world. We have nothing to do with the world. We have renounced everything. We go to Himalayas and stay in a cave and take one time food. That's enough for us. And we'll think of God. That type of work is not meant for Ramakrishna order. Some people are there. We will go and do benefit to the society. We shall be social workers. That is also not for us. Neither we are social workers, nor we are such people who go to caves. What is given to us is that your own welfare plus the world's welfare, these two must go conjointly in your actions. That's why we are in cities. We stay in cities among the busiest places, and then we do our practices. Along with that, we do the welfare of the mankind. So these should be there. So if you are in the Ramakrishna tradition, you must know that's the right question you put it. You must pray for others. And what is the tool that you can pray with? The best is your mantra. You got a mantra by your guru, so the same mantra you use it for the welfare of others. If you hear anybody, even I do even till now, if I hear any of our devotees sick, admitted in hospital, something is happening, struggling, then I sit in meditation, I finish my personal meditation and then pray for that person. Yes, we must pray. Sarvesham swastirastu. See the slokas today morning we read some of the universal prayers in the end that speaks not about one person or one religion or one state, one country like that. Sarvesham, for everyone. So that prayer must be there. You must, if you know somebody is sick, you must pray for them. Yes, that's a good thing. That will only expand your heart.
Swami,
Yes.
Sometimes, I suppose I just feel we live in a society where fame and being special is so important. And is there a tendency sometimes to feel, look how special I am, I'm more enlightened, or I know the way and this person doesn't? Can we slip into feeling too special?
When you feel that the other person is not up to the mark, what is your attitude towards the person?
It should be compassion and love.
Now, what is your attitude?
When they're...
When there is a person who is not up to the mark, as you say.
I don't feel I'm any more special than they are. But I just wonder if, as I progress, would there be a tendency in the human constitution we like to feel special?
Yes.
So I just mean, in terms of managing, that we can feel that we are, that there's...
Yes, you feel special, okay, that you are able to feel that. But that special feeling should be with regard to your personal, with God, that in your spiritual life you are progressing. But there are people around you who are not at all progressing in any way, for instance. And those people, what is your attitude should be towards them? Compassion. That's what Buddha says. Compassion to all the beings.
I just mean though sometimes ego, just ego.
Yes, ego will come. That's why, what's your attitude, I asked you. If you start behaving with them as a superior, then all the problems are, you are inviting. Your spiritual life is not going to go smoothly because you are having the feeling of superiority. You are nobody to judge other person. So the other person seemingly is very, very at low level. You may think like that, but you do not know. And you may be like that, the race between the tortoise and rabbit. So like that it will become. So you must understand that none can be judged by you. So long you don't judge others, then there is no problem. Otherwise the ego is the problem.
I heard that the Atman in everyone is at the same level. It's evolved at the same level at this moment. And so no one is superior or inferior. At the Atman, we're all equal at that level.
Yes. The great Adi Shankara, who spoke of Advaita, of oneness of the universe, he took bath in Benares once and he was coming because he has been purified and he's put on new clothes and he was walking. And in India there are caste systems there, one lower caste and higher caste, all those things were there, rampant in his time. And so one of the lowest caste person was coming in front of him. And this saint who saw this lower caste man coming in front of him, he said, "Get away." He said, "Get away." So that lower caste man stood in front of him. It's called Paraya. That Paraya stood in front of the sage. And he said, "Oh sage, you are asking to move away. Whom you are asking? If you are asking this body, the body is a dead matter. It doesn't understand anything. It can't hear you. It can't understand. And so the body, if you say that you move away, that is your wrong instruction to the body. Because body is not a doer. The doer is inside the body. And that inside doer is Atman. If you say Atman move away, Atman is present everywhere. So from where it will move to which place? Because it is everywhere. Then when Shankara saw that man speaking like that, he fell down on his feet and he held his feet and he spoke 5 verses he wrote there. It's called Manisha Panchakam. If you have got time, please read it, Manisha Panchakam. Even the greatest knowledge comes from the lowest caste. That person should be considered as Guru, he says. Such a wonderful thing. So this may be social dramatics, this who is higher, who is lower, or inferior, superior, etc. But in spiritual life, we shall never harbor the feeling that I am higher, I am superior, and somebody is inferior. You should never do. That's why first time when Ramakrishna Mission was started by Vivekananda in Belur Mand, he made all the people sit equally in one row and eat food. See, we are eating food here, in the same place. Different tables, that's all, because the 4-seater table. So we are sitting different tables, that's all. But is there any higher and lower in this? That's what Swami Vivekananda started. All will sit one place, whether highest caste or lowest caste. So in ashram, in the divine place, there should be no difference. The social differences should not come. And slowly, spiritually, when you are thinking differenceless, then you will be exhibiting that in social sphere also. When you go outside the ashram, and when you see people are having inferiority and superiority complexes, you will not accept that. You will behave equally to everyone. And that is what is expected from every spiritual person. No one should be treated badly. So thank you very much for the morning session.
Swami.
Yes.
Is it okay to chant or recite anything without knowing the meaning? Like japa, when we do it continuously?
Yes.
Is it going to reap the same benefits as much as we know the meaning and recite it?
See, some of the hymns, it is better you know the meaning. Because the hymns, what is being told, you can understand. And nowadays, meaning is not very difficult to get it. You yourself translating many hymns, so you know that. So, but regarding mantra, the very first time you receive a mantra from a guru, you are not going to get the meaning of the mantra. It is like practice of mathematics. Say a 5th standard student, he is doing something. I ask him, what are you doing? He says, I am doing mathematics. And in the next room, A PhD student is doing something. I go and ask him, what are you doing? I am doing mathematics. Both are telling mathematics. But do you know that the level is entirely different? A PhD student's mathematics and a 5th class student mathematics is entirely different. So likewise, when you take Diksha, in Japa you do the mantra, you may be in different classes. So the Japa says, the Holy Mother says this idea, as many times you go on repeating the mantra's meaning will shine in your mind automatically. You don't need to go and ask anybody. If you ask the word mantra, word meaning, perhaps the Guru will tell you. But the inner core meaning, nobody can tell you from outside. That will come from inside by your practice only. So for that also practice is required. So by practicing that mantra, without knowing the meaning, one day it will flash on you and it will give you the enlightenment. Thank you very much. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tasya Sri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.